Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are all doing well. Today we're back here again. Actually, before I go into like a little intro, I want to say thank you everyone who messaged us and kind of let us know what they thought about the last video that we had up here. We had some special guests and you guys let us know what you guys thought about it. So appreciate it so much. Keep the feedback coming so we know the kind of stuff that you guys want us to be talking about. So yeah, alright, cool. So as we all know, this is Heart to Heart, where we talk about all things health and healing and basically well-being, and we obviously are Christians, so we like to add our faith perspective into every topic we talk about because we think that is such a key part in like living life healthy and well, like spiritually as well. So today's topic we're going to be talking about is the topic of basically words. Words are such a big part of our everyday life. We communicate with our words. We use our words to convey a message all day long, and a lot of the times our words impact people in different ways, and we don't always really focus and really like look into that aspect of how our words do affect. I think especially in like any relationship, not just a marital relationship, but with your friends, with your family members, we all just use words sometimes anyhow, and we don't always, I guess, realize how they do affect people around us. So yeah, today we thought we'll just discuss it. We'll see what we get out of it, and kind of discuss give our insight of how it's kind of impacted like our relationship, and how we now try to use our words to like speak life instead of kind of tearing down. So yeah, any comments on that?
No, not really. We'll just go from there.
Okay. So first question is, what is your relationship with words? So like, if I was to ask you, how would you usually like speak to yourself internally? What would you say to that?
I'll say now my relationship towards myself, like what words I use towards myself, has improved. But back in the days, I didn't really think about it. As I got older, as I started reading and watching videos about how people look at themselves, how they speak to themselves internally, I kind of started to work on that a bit better. I can't say I'm to where I want to be, but I'm definitely working towards where I want to get to. So yeah.
Yeah. So I think for me with words, like I'm someone who, whenever like I'm the type of person, I just say what I see. So whatever the situation is, I just speak it out, and I just see, even if it's a negative situation, whether it's negative, whether it's positive, I just speak it out.
Yeah.
And one thing that I've come to learn is that we can't just say what we see all the time.
Yeah.
Because I do remember, when I was still a bit younger, and like in high school, primary school days, and a bit of uni as well. Every time something negative would happen, I would just speak it. Like I would speak it out constantly. Like, oh my God, like this happened, and now this is gonna happen, and then this, and then that. And it's like, without realizing, I was speaking myself into like constant negative vibes, and like always having a low mood because I was always putting myself down. Like, for example, if I didn't do well in a test or something, I'd be like, oh my God, why didn't you do good at, like, why didn't you do well? Like, you're just dumb, you're not good enough, you don't know what you're doing, and all that kind of stuff. And it's like just really accusing myself and constantly putting myself down, and not realizing that every word I was speaking, would be coming into manifestation. Like the things that I was saying was creating the vibe, was creating my reality, basically. And so I had to really come to realize and think, okay, you know what? One thing about me is like when I'm done talking negative like that, or internally bashing myself up, I kind of go, okay, snap out of it. That's enough. We can do it. Like, it's all right. We'll overcome it and we'll do better. That's one thing about me that I've always had within me. I don't like to stay in the same situation over and over and over. So I would always have to kind of like talk myself out of it and be like, okay, we're not talking like that anymore. We're talking like this, and we're going to try this and this and this instead.
Yeah.
So I really had to like learn that and learn that, okay, the words I speak are very important, and they dictate how my day will go. They dictate how my years will go, my life goes in general. So I started like learning. Okay, only speak the things that you want to see happen, and not just speaking the things that you're seeing happen. Yeah, not just the things you're seeing happen, but the things you want to see happen. So yeah, I had to like learn to start doing. I'm not saying like I'm perfect or I'm there yet, but I'm definitely like way better than where I was before.
If you think about it, there's two parts of yourself in a way that is in there, but we kind of forget about the other part. The other part where it's kind of like a teacher. Like if you're in a class and the teacher asks you to come and answer a question, you go and answer it. If it's wrong, they say, oh, this is wrong, but then they show you the right way to do it, right? So like in a way, we have that part within us, whereby if you do something wrong, you know it's wrong already, but then you have to get to an area that you're like, okay, Harriet or Ben, I did this wrong, but now this is how I do it right.
And one thing that just came to mind as you were talking, honestly, was that, within us, like, as human beings, we always have those two parts of us, There's the negative side of things and the positive, and like spiritually, obviously, we know that there's the enemy and there's God.
And the devil.
Yeah, and there's gonna be that battle of this is how you do it. This is the right thing. This is the right thing. I don't know if you guys remember, if any of you guys watched The Simpsons, and how Homer one time he had like the evil angel and the good angel, and they were both whispering, no, do it like this, and then the other one, do it like this, do it like this, and it's like kind of like you're sometimes having to like battle both, where it's like, okay, I have to speak the right things over my life, or I have to say whatever I'm seeing around me, but it might not be necessarily right, Anyway, so with us, like obviously, like now having been together for quite a few years, do you think that like how we spoke to each other like back then compared to how we speak to each other now, has it changed?
100%.
Yeah.
Obviously, like when you first meet each other, it's like basically we're two different, not even just a couple, we're two different people that are coming together, not only as female and male, but two different people. And then after that, we're bringing our own knowledge of what we learned from home and all of that into an area. So back then, we didn't know how like this person would take what we're trying to say. But we'll say it anyway, trying to protect our own emotion and trying to protect our own, like what we learned from home and everything. Just speaking, like you said, sometimes you just spoke like how it is. You just say stuff as it is. But sometimes we got to an area that we're like, oh, if I say it like this person is going to react like this. You can, like, one thing that I learned is you can manage your own emotion, you can protect your own emotion, but you can't protect someone else's. But you can through your words, So that's kind of when I started learning that, okay, I don't want her to get angry. If I say it like this, she's going to get angry. But if I say it like this, she'll understand, but she won't get that angry. So at the beginning, definitely not. But as time went by, I started to get to know how you respond to the way that I said things. And then I started to work on it. It's not, once again, I'm 100% not saying that we are where we want to be, but you learn about each other every day. So there are things that I'm definitely sure we're going to learn about each other, how to respond, and we're going to get there. So yeah, I can't say we are where we were, but we're definitely climbing up, which is good.
Yeah, definitely. So like you said, obviously it's like growth, it takes time and effort to learn how each other communicate. Like we're definitely not where we used to be. We're way better than what we used to be, because every time, like he would say a certain thing and I react a certain way, then we think, okay, is that the right way? Is that not the right way? Same and vice versa as well. If I said certain things and he didn't really respond to it very well, we would have to like kind of adjust. Because at the end of the day, like you said, we're two different people and we're coming together and we're having to learn each other and learn how to communicate to each other. One thing that I notice is, a lot of the time, sometimes we kind of like walk on eggshells, or we try to like beat around the bush depending on certain people and depending on their temperaments and how they deal with things. We sometimes kind of like, oh, we don't want to say certain things, or we don't want to offend them or anything like that. But I feel like at the end of the day, if you're going to say something, it's just like the way that you say it is how you bring it out. If you're going to bring it out in a way that like, obviously like is to build and not really like to tear down or bring down the person, then most of the time like they will receive it well. But sometimes we think we have to like, you know, really like beat around the bush and stuff. And one thing that I've learned, like I learned very early on before we got married from our speaker, Lisa Bever, she said, you know, no matter what you do, it's so important that you build your person up. You build instead of tearing down. Because one thing about tearing down is that you're not going to really get far with the person that you're trying to speak to. Like imagine your friends, if any of your friends are always putting you down, like always putting you down with their words, like, you're this, you're that, and like everything they're saying is not even helping you or does not really make you feel very good about yourself. Like you're not really going to want to be in that situation, right? You're going to want to just like remove yourself from the situation. So I think it's so important that we learn, like especially in marriage as well. I think we get comfortable in marriage. We think, yeah, like you're my person, like no matter what I say to you, you should get it. Like it's not that deep. You should understand that this is who I am. It's not that deep. And like, you know, we understand each other and all that. But really it's like still, even though they understand you, they still want to hear nice things about themselves. And they want to, even if you're like correcting or you're trying to critique, or I remember we always talk about this situation where when somebody comes from work and they're pissed off or angry, like you don't just out of nowhere like start like going off at them or being like, what's wrong, what's the problem? Or when they tell you like a situation that's happened at work, they don't really want to hear you critiquing and putting them down all the time. They want to kind of hear like that you're encouraging them or that you hear them, that you're there for them before anything else, you know? So just really being able to like communicate well.
In a relationship, if you think about it, like you'll go out there and talk all nice to other people and think of your word when you're talking to other people. But in your relationship, you think, oh, he's my man or she's my woman. I can just say it there with me. For me, it should be the other way around, to be honest. Like, I'm not saying you can talk however you want out there. Obviously, work on your words, but in your household, your woman or your man is the best person you can show your best version to, you know? And work on yourself to be the better version of yourself for your person, not for people out there. People out there will know they're not going to bring anything into your life as much as that person you're with is going to. So kind of both ways as well. I'm not saying be rude out there. I'm saying your best self should be towards your partner rather than out there and then you treat your partner however you want. But at the end of the day, the main point is get better at your words so you can speak to everyone in a positive way instead of bringing out a negative version of yourself.
100%. So, would you say that like you usually, this is the next question, I'm just jumping through the questions now. Would you say that you speak life majority of the time? Like, do you think that in general you speak life?
I would say yes, but like sometimes when people think about it as life, they think every time you're saying something positive, that's speaking life. But sometimes there are some negative things that needs to be said in some situation in order for you to grow out of that situation. It doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It might sound bad in your ears, but when you grow out of that, you'll be like, oh yeah, I needed to hear that in order for me to grow. But for me, it's mostly with a lot of the youth and stuff like that, because I love to help young people. A lot of the youth, I kind of build them up. I speak life into that area. But older people around my age, when they, like, perfect example is one of my good friends. Whenever me and him, we have a conversation and he comes to me with something, either a relationship or something that he's going through, if he's wrong, I'm going to tell him right there. I'm going to shut him down and be like, nah, bro, you shouldn't do that. That's no good. Even though you might want to hear sweet stuff in that moment, a real friend will actually tell you, bro, this is wrong, don't do that. It might sound negative to him in that moment, but then later on he'll come back and be like, yeah, bro, that was actually, thanks for telling me that. So I feel like life, when people talking about life, they kind of see it as only good stuff. But I feel like I do, but I can't say all the time.
Yeah.
But most of the time, I try my best to. So yeah.
Yeah. No, that's actually a fact. Because sometimes, like, rebuke is also necessary. You don't always. It's not always like saying all the best things about the person, but it's also like kind of like checking the person. Like, if someone is really your friend and they're doing something that is not correct, you have to check them and be like, look, kind of like what you're doing is not really right. And if they don't want to listen, then okay, that's them. But the sad thing is like they're walking around, everyone else can see it, but they don't want to see it. And when you tell them, it's like, anyway, so it's like really you should be able to accept like being checked by your friends or the people that actually care about you the most. Because when they're speaking these things over you, they're actually trying to create like a better version of you, or they're trying to bring out the better version of you than what you actually are, instead of really like trying to put you down. I think it depends on the friends. So not every friend can just try to check you, because some people will take it the wrong way.
100%. That's what I'm saying. Like a close friend. 100%. Because like a lot of people can come. Like I have friends out there that'll come and tell me, "Oh, Ben, why is this about you? Why don't you do this and that?" But the closest person to me is you. If you like it that way, I'm not going to change it because someone else is saying that. But if it's a close friend, like if they're doing something like, for example, a crime or doing drugs, if I see my friend doing drugs, I'll 100% go and tell him. Not to be like, oh, I don't do that, but I care about his health and all of that. Out of love, I'll be like, bro, this is not good for you. But out of love, if he listens, cool. If he doesn't, then that's all right.
So how about joking? Because I know with you guys, like you guys are always joking around. So it's like it's a normal thing for you guys to joke. And sometimes some of the things that are said in jokes are kind of like downgrading, like you're putting people down. So then it's kind of like that's kind of still your words as well that you're speaking.
Like to be honest, for West African, I would say, we were brought up in a this area that you have to be really tough. In a way. So not in an area of being strong, but emotionally, nothing can break you down. So like we have heard the worst of jokes. We've been teased to the fact that you'll be crying, but you're thinking of the next one to come back. And if you have to wait till tomorrow and come back, you'll come back again. So I'm not saying it's a good thing, 100%. You have to get to an area that you understand. Not everyone takes jokes as you do, because that's the same as words. If you know how at the beginning with you guys, when we used to tease them, because I thought, all of us are the same, they'll get really mad and it'll affect them in a certain way. But like I said, as I started to know you, I'm like, okay, I can joke with her like this. But then with my West African that can handle it, we can go, because we know it's a joke. We know they're joking. We know they don't mean any of that. But then for you,
100%.
Like you might take it a certain way, because a lot of the time, the way I see it, a lot of the time, sometimes it's not to you. You just put out a word. How you take it is how it affects you. Like if I give you a word right now, it might go through one ear and another, and it won't affect you. But the next person next to you, they will take it in and dwell on it, and then before you know, they're affected, badly. So it's like that for us. We joke, and all of us will not understand. But poor you'll be sitting there thinking, why are they teasing me? Why are they saying this about me?
So definitely, I think I saw even like when you were with some of your friends before, and some of the things they were saying, and I was just thinking like, oh my god, like they're saying like the teasing and the roasting. Like I get roasting, but you're right. Like if the person understands it, they understand it. It's not like they mean it on purpose, but But I just feel like I guess every word you say is really like it's still a word, and it's like a manifestation of that word. So manifestation of that word can come to existence. So we have to be careful how we use our words, kind of thing. But anyways, one thing that I've learned, especially like being with him, is that everything, no matter what anybody says, like everything that people say, you have to really put it through a filter. Put it through a filter in your mind and be like, okay, is this word for me? Is this a word something that I should be taking in and really getting absorbed in, consuming it and like letting it become a part of me? Or is it a word that like I'm like, okay, you say it that's you, and that's what you've said, but it doesn't mean it's my reality. Like, you really have to like put whatever people say into a filter through your mind, so that you're not taking things personal. Because a lot of people, if you're sensitive like me, you take things personal, you know, and you then it's like, well, it's actually not that deep. Like, they don't even care about it like that. Like, kind of you care about it. So yes, I've learned to just really put things through a filter, and really like everything people say, like, take it with a pinch of salt and be like, okay, if it's not for me, it's not for me. And sometimes people are just projecting. They're just, sometimes not only projecting, but if people have a certain thing that they might like be jealous of or dislike about you, they can just be saying whatever to kind of like either put you down or like kind of like kill your vibe or whatever. And you have to be alert to these things. You have to be aware, like, okay, these things that have just been said, like, is that really for me, or is it from a projection of how she thought or felt? Is it true? Is it not true? Like, you really have to think about it before you take things personal. Because I know some people be taking it and then they'll be there like, why did they say this about me? And then getting all upset, and then sometimes start fights, and yeah, it's just not necessary. It's really not necessary. So yeah, so just really learning.
There's like two things I was gonna say. Firstly, like, you know, for us joking and stuff like that, sometimes that person may be saying nothing. There's two ways of saying something, like you know how you guys say, oh, I'm so passionate about it, that's why I say it like that. Like, if you guys are joking and you're like, oh, you're so down, man, and you're all laughing and stuff, they will know it's a joke by the way that you say it. But if you stand there and you're like, you're actually down, you're so down, they know how you're saying it. So there's a loving way of saying something. Just because it's a word, it doesn't mean you can't use it. You can use it, but depending on how you bring it out.
Alright, so we'll just move on to the last question then. So what are verses that you refer to, like, relate to you when it comes to like words? So
for me, I can't remember where it is, but it's the verse that says the power of life and death is in the tongue. Because like in that sense as well, you have to take it as in, like, every word that you say, someone else may take it different. You know, just because I'm saying it in a loving way, there might be someone there that has always heard that they've done all of that, and if they hear it, they will think you're talking to them like that. A lot of people that commit suicide and stuff like that, there might be one little trigger that they're waiting to hear, you know. And you may be joking, you may be doing this and that, and you'll say that thing to them, not knowing that it already triggered them on the inside. So they'll go and commit it. It might not be your fault directly, but if you would have never said it like that, they would have never. So just kind of watch what you say sometimes.
Definitely. That's also one of mine. But then another one that I really like was, I think it's in Matthew, and I'll find it now and search it. So it says, it is written, men shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of God. And then also, let no corrupt talk come out of your mouths, but only such as is good for building up, fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear it. So really, like, the whole aim of it is really like speaking life. Speaking the right things, speaking the things that are going to build up and not tear down, and really speaking the things that are going to help people become their best version, their better selves. So yeah, I know for me, most of the time, I just speak whatever I see. But I've learned that it's so important that we speak life, we build up, even if the situation is negative and it looks so negative, but still speaking the opposite instead. Because there's such a powerful tool in really doing that. It really changes the whole situation. One time we were talking about how, you know, growing up as young people, and even like in school, really your teachers, when they speak to you, because obviously teachers are speaking at you all day long, when they speak to you, the things that speak to you, there was one teacher that spoke into my life, and she was like, you know, Harriet, you know, you can do anything that you believe you can do. Like, if you believe in yourself and you think that you can do it, you can actually do it. And, you know, from then on, like, that was like such a big change in my mentality and my thinking. And from then on, I started saying, okay, you know what? Because she said that, I'm going to try to believe that I can do it, and I'm going to do it. And that's the mentality I've had since. And so from then, like, I'm like, okay, yeah, no matter what anybody says, as long as I believe I can do it, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get it done, kind of thing, you know. And I think sometimes we, when we growing up in our households and stuff, we don't always hear that. We don't hear people telling you the right things. Your parents, some parents, they don't really speak life. They don't speak the right things into you, and so you have to be able to do that for yourself. Like if your dad's telling you you're dumb or you never amount to anything or you don't know anything, you can't be taking that and then really believing it in your heart that that's what you are, because at the end of the day, that's not what you are. You are what you believe, you know, because there's a verse that says, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. If you're thinking about it in your heart, then that's who you actually are.
Yeah.
Alright, so yeah guys, that's pretty much everything we wanted to say in the video. Thank you all so much for watching. We hope you guys enjoyed and you learned something new. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe. Let us know what you guys think as well, because we would love to hear your feedback. So yeah.
And make sure you follow the Heart to Heart with Harriet on Instagram. It's really awesome, guys. There's some nice stuff on there as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So
yeah, thank you.